I was the last one in the office on a Saturday night in October. The sixth floor was silent, filled only with empty chairs and the hum of the HVAC. A red exit sign glowed faintly against the dark. My laptop screen showed a budget file due Monday, and I told myself one more hour. My chipped green mug sat beside my mouse, a sticky note with 3 numbers stuck to my monitor. At 12:27 a.m., I sent one email and started another when my phone buzzed. The number was unknown. I nearly let it go to voicemail but answered. A soft breathing filled the line. Not heavy, just close. "Hello," I said again. More breathing. I hung up, convincing myself it was a mistake. But 2 minutes later, the same number rang. This time, I snapped, "Stop calling." The breathing continued, faintly rasping at each exhale. My stomach nodded. Then a text arrived. "I can see you." I froze. Another message followed. Blue sweater, green mug with a chip, sticky note with 483 on it. "Don't look for me." I was wearing a blue sweater. My mug was chipped green. The sticky note read 483. My chair scraped back so hard it rattled the mat beneath it. I peered out through the glass wall into the dark hallway, but nothing moved. The office door was locked from the hall, requiring a keycard. Mine still hung on my lanyard. I grabbed my mug, telling myself coffee would steady me. The kitchen was only 20 steps away. As I stepped into the hallway, the motion lights flicked on above me. In the kitchen, I pressed the coffee machine and stared at the black window over the sink, which reflected my pale, nervous face. Then heat bloomed across the back of my neck, the feeling of someone standing just too close. I turned. A man stood behind me. His jacket was dark, his cap pulled low, his face too ordinary. Empty hands. He didn't speak. His eyes flicked from me to my mug, then back, as if checking off a list. "You need to leave," I whispered. He only smiled, lips closed, no teeth. I bolted. His footsteps followed fast, steady. I slipped into the women's restroom and locked it, pressing my back against the sinks. My phone was still on my desk. The lights buzzed overhead. The handle rattled once, then stopped. The silence was broken only by the drip of a faucet. I counted the seconds, 60, 100, 200, until finally I dared unlock the door. The hall was empty, the exit sign glowing, the motion lights flicking on only as I walked back toward my desk. My phone was still there, buzzing with 3 new texts. The last one read, "Brave girl." Before I could dial, footsteps thundered behind me from the copy room. I turned. He was already there. Pain exploded above my ear. The floor tilted, and the lights smeared across the ceiling before everything went black. When I woke, paramedics hovered over me. Police spoke in low voices to my boss. Someone had broken into the server room during the night. A hard drive was missing. Master keys too. Security cameras had been turned away or smeared. The intruder had known exactly where to go, and when. I changed my number that afternoon. Now I keep a new sticky note on my monitor, with 3 words in block letters. "Lock your door." The warehouse was always quiet at night. Just me, the hum of the AC, and the faint buzz of fluorescent lights while I sat in the control room, staring at a wall of grainy live feeds. We stored auto parts, nothing anyone should care about, but the boss was paranoid, so cameras covered every angle. No recording, though. Live feed only. His reasoning was always the same. If something happens, you'll see it in real time. That night, around 3 a.m., I was fighting sleep when something shifted on the backdoor camera. A figure stood on the loading dock, dead center in the frame. They wore a long black robe and a cheap plastic mask, the ghost face one from old horror movies. They didn't move. They didn't fidget. Just stood there, staring straight into the lens. My heart hammered. I called out for my coworker on patrol, but then stopped. Maybe it was kids, pulling some prank. But no kid I knew would stand that still. The figure was tall, adult, too calm. I forced myself to check. The back door was sealed with locks and codes. It was impossible to break through. I peered through the peephole. Nothing.
Empty dock.
Empty lot. My hands trembled. But when I returned to the control room, they were back. The masked figure walked casually into frame, tilted their head up toward the camera, and waved. A slow, mocking wave. The police came, searched, found nothing.
No footprints.
No broken locks. They dismissed it as a prank. But the next night, the figure returned. This time they didn't wave. They left something on the doorstep. When I checked, an envelope waited under the light. Inside was a photo of me, taken earlier that night, sitting in the control room. My blood turned cold. The window behind me was tinted. No one could have taken that picture. The visits escalated. Stickers on my car, notes, signs held up to the camera. I see you, too. Always silent. Always watching. Eventually, the boss installed recording cameras. The visits stopped. But sometimes, late at night in my new apartment, I catch myself staring at the door, half expecting a slow wave from the shadows outside my window. The building where I worked was locked tight. Every door, every elevator, every stairwell required a badge. The readers gave sharp beeps when they read properly, lower beeps when they failed. That Saturday night, I was alone, finishing an audit. At 9 o'clock, I walked for coffee and noticed a piece of cardboard wedged in the main door latch, keeping it open. I hadn't put it there. Training drilled one rule above all. Never prop doors. I tossed the cardboard, checked the lock, and told myself to forget it. Minutes later, the elevator dinged. The doors opened, then closed. No one stepped out. My skin crawled. 10 minutes after that, a badge beeped at the suite door. Then a lower one like a failed swipe. I pulled up the building app. The camera feed was unavailable. Through the frosted glass of the conference room, I saw a man's shadow. He cupped a hand against the glass. Navy shirt, jeans, no badge. He tried the handle, then walked away toward the elevator. Moments later, the stairwell door clanged open. He had circled around. I moved into an interior office, locked the door, and sat on the floor with my back pressed against it. I texted my manager. Someone's trying the doors. He called me immediately, keeping me calm, making me list steps. Lock everything, stay away from glass, keep the alarm bar close. The copier roared to life. He was inside. Footsteps crept down the hall, testing each door. Then he reached mine. The handle turned twice. Then metal scratched at the lock. My heel pressed into the carpet, bracing the door. The alarm bar glowed red behind me. I hit it. The siren shrieked through the suite. But he didn't run. He pressed the handle again, steady, patient. Then I smelled it, citrus cleaner. He had been wiping things down. The lock clicked. The door opened inches. His face appeared. Mid-30s. Shaved head. Bare hands. No logo.
No vai.
He slipped inside. I swung a whole punch with all my strength, but it barely slowed him. His weight slammed me back against the desk. The monitor cracked. The siren drilled. My phone shouted my name. I tasted blood. The last thing I remember was hearing the elevator ding again. Real footsteps this time. Security. A radio crackling in the hall. And then, my name spoken by someone I trusted. If you ever hear a badge beep that isn't yours, don't wait. Don't look for proof. Set off the alarm. Make the building loud. Do it before it's too late.